This program is presented by Success Society International. See you at the top.
Oh, I just missed it. And so will you. Let me promise you this, that not all of your effort will turn into results. And take it as a guarantee, because that's how life is. Hello Champion Society, this is Vaibhav Nahata, your presenter for Being Champions with Vaibhav Nahata. This is what I was trying to show you, that not all the efforts you put will turn into results. And sometimes it will be as close as this. You can be there, just regret about not putting in the basket, or maybe take the ball again and hit and try again. So the guest we have with us today shows the same spirit. He is the CEO of Tutil, Mr. Sixit Bhatta, all the way from Kathmandu for today's episode of Being Champions. Now this person is changing the way we think about mobility all over Nepal and is being seen as an epitome of achievement and success. Welcome to Being Champions, Mr. Sixit Bhatta. So how's it? How are you having your time here in Viratnagar?
Good, pretty good.
You're having fun?
Yeah.
So first of all, let me ask you this. When you began up your journey to entrepreneurship, before that you were into telecom sector doing job, before that you went to different sector doing different jobs. So what made you quit all those and come into entrepreneurship?
Well, I've spoken about this in different forums. Basically, it was about the lack of opportunity that I had to express myself through my work. So I've always maintained that entrepreneurship is pretty much like art and music and dance and painting. So yeah, for me, entrepreneurship journey was not about the premeditated thought of being an entrepreneur, but it was, I think for me, it was about expressing myself. So it was a kind of a self-expression that I had to the world, and that led me to getting there. So it was never premeditated. I never thought that I would get into solving a certain problem. It just happened. It just happened as a means of self-expression. So it's like it's a means of expressing myself.
So you play table tennis, right?
A little bit.
So let's get into there, and we'll have the photo chat there now.
Okay.
A game of 11.
Okay.
So let's warm up first of all, and I'll be asking you questions in the meantime.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So the other question I have is that how has your life changed before you were doing job and now you are an entrepreneur? How has life changed for you?
Well,
One love.
the ball is on your
Yep.
side. So when I was working for others, my life was pretty much 9 to 5. You know, waiting for the
To love yourself.
waiting for the bell to ring at the end of the day and go home, and desperately waiting for the weekends. But now it's been work every day, 24 hours into 7 days a week. So it's changed significantly.
So do you like that?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, I feel that it's a kind of a responsibility that you have to get something done and to create a value in the society. So, you know, that's
So
something.
the thing is that when you were before doing a job and you were working 9 to 5, you were enjoying weekends and it was all there, right? And now you are working, 24/7 in some sense, and then you still enjoying doing that, So what is that thing that is making you enjoy that 24/7 thing, and even when you were, not willing to put the 9 to 5 thing?
Well, the most important thing is that right now I get to choose what I do. Right, I get to choose how I create the product. I get to choose a lot of things and be creative at the same time. So I mean, if there is someone who is playing a guitar for long hours, I mean, that person would not be bored of playing that guitar.
That's
right?
true.
Right, so it's something like that. So I do enjoy it thoroughly, whatever I'm doing right now.
The thing your question here right now is that when you are doing entrepreneurship since some years, what is the best piece of learning you got that you think made a lot of difference to what you do today?
I think when you're into entrepreneurship, you're constantly learning from your team, from your customers, from your users. And I think that learning, if you put into practice through a process of a closed loop feedback, and that offers a lot of learning and value to what you're going to do next.
The thing here, Sixit sir, is that whenever I meet people who are at the very top, like let's say it's you, let's say it's any other person I meet, I find that they are so humble even when they are at the very top, right? And we see people who are doing nothing and still they carry so much of ego and stuff like that in their brain. So what is that thing that makes them so humble even they have achieved so much, and those who have achieved nothing being so egoistic about themselves?
Well, I do not think I've achieved anything, so
this is humbleness.
no, I haven't, to be very honest, because it's a journey that one needs to take. So I can't tell about others, but I can for sure tell you that I haven't achieved anything. I'm like, my story is a common man.
You are giving employment to 5,000 people. You are helping so many people, giving jobs. You are adding value to lives of so many Nepalese. So you have made a difference. Like you have done something, isn't it?
I have, definitely, but there is a lot more to do.
So how are you not egoistic about that part then?
Well, it's there's certain things in life, like when people talk about what we've done as a team and creating more than 10,000 jobs, people celebrate this as a success, and sometimes things of this kind that we have achieved, it's difficult to embrace, but it's also hard to deny. So we'll take it as it comes.
So, like with your journey with Tootle, have you ever felt like it's not possible now, I have to give up, or anything that level of negativeness, has that happened to you till now?
Well, you're challenged in your thoughts, always, often, every day. But there are thoughts that counter those challenges as well. So it's about the positive thoughts that keep us going.
So how does that happen? Like let's say that you were facing the issue of 3.5 crore taxation, right? And then you got a notice maybe from the government that this has happened. You are feeling down, maybe you are feeling negative. So how do you pull yourself up at that point of time?
Well, it's the first thing that you do is you take control of your life. And the way you can take control of your life is to do things that are necessary, which means that you focus on your health, you go work out, go to a gym, you run, you possibly read books, meet right people.
You like reading books?
Yes, I do.
So what was the last book you read?
The book that I'm reading right now is called Guns, Germs and Steel by Jared Diamond. It's inside my bag, so I carry it everywhere I go.
So what is it about?
It's about the history of humankind, the bigger historical narrative as to why we are here and how we reached here, how development happened at a different pace at different parts of the world. Why is Europe developed compared to Papua New Guinea? What are the reasons behind that? So it's a very interesting.
So what is the one best book that really helped you with your business or your life?
I can't speak about one. I think the more you read, the more you know that you do not know so many things, right?
Wow.
The more
you want to note that, man.
And so the more you learn, the more you feel how ignorant you are. So I think life is a lot to do about celebrating your ignorance than celebrating your knowledge.
Wow, that's awesome. So I want to recollect it back to when you started Tootle. What was it like when you started Tootle, when you were working all day and night? So what did it feel like? What was the passion that time? Let's talk a little bit about that period of time.
Well, it was the drive and the passion to do something very new for the very first time and experiment a business model. So yeah, it was like everyone was working on that eureka moment. And that was a huge drive in a small team, trying to work out a product together and trying to do something that could potentially change the way people would move around. So that was, I think, very exciting for us. And
So that drive, do you think that drive is within you and your team even now?
yes, of course. I mean, what happens is it's definitely there within me. Entrepreneurship is more of a journey, right? In that journey, there are many people who leave you, there are many people who will join in, and that's the process. So the only people who are with me are the ones who consistently have had that drive. The people who have left me possibly couldn't succumb to that pressure of changing the way people move, and they moved away. So for me, the drive is always there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here right now.
So what made me ask that basically is that there are so many youths, the champion society, who are into entrepreneurship or who think they want to do something. But it's like, I'm doing something, I want to do something. And then it all fades away. It's become, okay, I wanted to do something sometime back. You know? So that eureka moment you talked about, how can a person keep that, keep that energy and zeal consistent for a long term?
You know, the first thing is that you should not start your drive by putting a lot of pressure on you, saying that you want to do something.
Okay.
Right, because I have been here at this point in time at an age, of course, more than twice as much as you are. So it's commendable that people like you are trying to do something. But it's about following your heart in whatever you do. And like Steve Jobs has mentioned in one of his stories, that your heart definitely knows. Some people find your calling at the age of 18, some find it at 22, some would find it 27, 28, 30, 35. I found it very late. But the idea is to keep searching rather than putting pressure on yourself that you have to do something. I think the right narrative would be, I want to search my calling rather than saying I want to do something. Right? So I think it's
searching the calling?
Yeah, you search yourself as to what is that perfect blend of thing that you want.
Let's say Mr. E is watching this right now. How can he find his calling?
It's about doing many things. It's about doing something and finding if that's something that you want to do for the rest of your life, right? And if the answer is no for many days, then the choice should be to move on to something else. You go to something else and you again question yourself: is it something that I want to do for the rest of my life? And what would I do 10 years from now if I were to do something like this, right? If the answer is that you don't have a clear answer, then it's time to move on. So constantly when I'm doing tutu, I ask myself, is it something that you wanted to do right now? The answer is yes. I also ask that, what would you want to do 10 years down the line? Right? And if I have a vision of what I want to do 10 years down the line, which is supported by what I'm doing right now, then I think this is the right thing to do.
So the champion society, I want you to get it noted, I would say. What sir said is that finding your calling is not like getting it known suddenly. It's about doing different things, trying out different things, experimenting about different things, and knowing that what suits best for you, what you really love to do, and that journey. And I want to recollect about the vision you told about right now, like the 10-year vision. How can a person set that 10-year vision, or how can one develop that I want to be there? Like I can think that I want to have a BMW in 10 years, right? But it's not going to make a difference if I just think like that. So how can one like precise or good vision, I would say?
See, having a BMW 10 years down the line is about wealth collection. It can never be a vision.
Exactly.
Right. I think you should try to figure out what are the experiences you want to gain in next 10 years. So whatever you want to do in next 10 years, you should start doing today. So whatever you do in your 20s or 30s, you need to work on whatever you would do in your 30s, you should start working on in your 20s. Whatever you want to do in your 40s, for that you need to start working on your 30s. So it depends on, number one, trying to set up a vision as to where you want to take yourself. And the second is to get there, what are the networks you want to establish? What are the books you want to read? What are the experiments that you want to do? So whatever you do in your 40s would largely depend on what you would do in your 30s, right? And whatever you would achieve in your 30s would largely depend on what you're doing right now.
So had you set a 10-year goal 10 years back that has made you a person you are today?
I don't set goals of 10 years because, human beings like to see time in a very discrete manner. Therefore we celebrate birthday every year, right? Which is actually the turn of a of the earth around the sun, but you're aging continuously, isn't it?
That's true.
Right? So we tend to think of timeline in a discrete manner of 10 years, 5 years plan or goal or something like that, but you're aging continuously, you're learning continuously. So I think your vision also should continuously evolve.
Get it noted. Continuous evolvement of one's
Yeah.
vision, isn't it? So we are almost at the end parts of today's show. I'll shoot random words to you. It's like a rapid fire round. I'll shoot random words to you, and you just have to have a sentence about it. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
So, Tutil,
Freedom to move,
Sixit Bhatta,
curious and risk taker,
Vaibhav Mehta.
a cool dude doing something good.
Thank you so much. And then mobility,
It's embodied into you. It's embodied into people's physique. It's an embodiment of human being.
team,
Team is important, and it's the only thing that takes you forward.
Pathao.
Good competition.
I got a wonderful answer from you regarding this. Now, let me ask you this. How was your experience in being champions today?
It's good. It's good to know you. It's good to see you trying to evolve as an individual. But don't take too much pressure on yourself of delivering something. Take life easy. You know, every phase in your life comes at a certain has a certain reason. So of course it's good that you're networking and trying to build up these shows and all. But it's also important to enjoy your life. You know, be a teenager. You know, just hang out with your friends. Not turn up at home overnight. You know, because when you go back 20 years down the line, you would not regret for the things that you've done, but the things that you didn't do. That's what Mark Twain has said. So just try to loosen yourself a bit and allow youngsters to loosen themselves. You know, because 20 years down the line, I'm sure you're not going to remember this interview, but you definitely talk with your friends if you were drunk somewhere and vomited in some streets. I think that'll be a better story to share.
I'm 16 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming up with us and being champions today.
Thank you.
We are very, very happy to have you.
Very happy
So
to be
they're
here.
the Champion Society. I want you to take back your notebook and write about 2 things maybe that you would be implementing from today onwards, because the thing is that if you don't hit the hammer when it's hot, it gets cold. So thank you so much for watching today's episode of Being Champions with Vaibhav Mehta. Next Monday 7 p.m. I'll be right back with another wonderful episode with even great zeal, energy and enthusiasm. Being Champions with Vaibhav Mehta.
This program is presented by Success Society International. See you at the top.